Welcome back to Southwest Yard and Garden. I'm Curtis Smith. Today we're in Albuquerque with County Agent Rick Daniels. He's got some questions that people have been bringing into him, so he's sharing these questions with us. All right, Rick.
Hi, Curtis. I brought 3 samples in today. The first one I wanted to ask you about, I know that you've already addressed the ash bark beetle, which is causing dieback in this ash twig or this ash branch right away, but there's some other discoloration and stuff in this branch, and I was real curious to know what's causing that, and if you could explain a little bit of that to me.
Okay, Rick, this is really a good one because here in the Southwest we have what's often called Southwest injury. On a trunk of a tree, we'll often see this discoloration where we see more of an orange color.
Okay.
If it's severe enough, it can kill the bark in that area and we can get damage to the trunk of the tree. That's why sometimes in the winter we'll paint the lower portion of a trunk with a white paint to reflect the heat so we don't get the scalding during the winter. In this case, it's very minor. If you scrape it, you'll notice this is only epidermal, so it hasn't really done much damage. Okay. But if we look right here, there's a pruning cut. And in association with the pruning cut, we do have some discoloration. It was a poor pruning cut. That poor pruning cut, or maybe a branch broke out in the wind, that has caused some death of the tissue around here. Now that's more of a severe problem. This will cause some rot into the twig, and in time may be a problem, but the tree's going to grow over it. If it's small enough, it's going to compartmentalize it. It's not going to be a major problem. But this discoloration is something that we as Southwestern gardeners need to be aware of.
Okay. Is this something just associated with ash trees, or?
The Southwest injury discoloration is going to be associated with almost any young tree that still has a thin bark.
Okay.
Even some vines and other plants. We do have to watch out for our intense sunlight.
Okay. I brought another plant here. I had a couple of questions on it. Basically, the first question was, what is the plant? It is a tree, I know that, but it also has a lot of tip burn and stuff on the leaves, and I think I know what's causing this, but I'd like to hear what you have to say.
Okay, well this is the golden rain tree.
Okay.
Beautiful yellow flowers in the spring. The flowers will then be followed by fruit, which look like little Chinese lantern, little papery leaf structures in the shape of a Chinese lantern with the fruit up inside it, little hard berries that form inside there. What's interesting about that, or important to us about that, is the fact that that Chinese lantern becomes a place where the box elderbug hides out, feeds on the fruit of this. Doesn't do a lot of damage, but then it goes into houses during the winter. And we've discussed this in other programs, but the box elderbug is a nuisance bug. This is one of its hosts. The browning on the leaves is due to our dry air. The dryness we've had this year has caused us to start early. But a lot of our trees will show this, especially when we get into July. When it's hot, it's dry, and the winds are blowing, we're going to get this browning around the edges, especially of the non-native trees. So we'll see that kind of problem there, and it's not a major problem.
Okay. The last sample I brought in was some twigs off of some juniper, and you can see that they're looking real dirty looking, a little bit of webbing and stuff on there. Can you explain a little bit about what's causing that?
Yeah, this is what it's supposed to look like right here. Nice and healthy and green. This is what we don't want it to look like. What we've got here are spider mites. This is a small mite. It's not a true insect, so insecticides don't always work on it. But this is doing a lot of damage to junipers throughout New Mexico. It's causing a lot of twig death. It's killing a whole side of a juniper, in some cases whole plants. I think you mentioned you saw a cypress tree, young tree planted, and the spider mite stress was sufficient to go ahead and cause it to die. So we can have, especially in the young newly planted trees, death of the tree because of the spider mites. And what you'll notice is that it's not a webbing. It stretches from branch to branch like a true spider web. You can see a lot of our junipers now have true spider webs stretching from one branch to another. In this case, it's coating the twig. So we get a coating of the spider webbing or the mite webbing on this. Even down into this area here, we've got a lot of coating. And as you watch, you see little tiny things moving around, and that's the mites themselves. They're almost too small to see, but they're visible if you look closely. And if you really want to check and see if they're there, you can take the twig on a white surface, tap it, and then look for little things crawling around on the surface. You'll get some dust and other things which aren't moving. But when you see the little things moving, that's a good indication you've got a spider mite problem. There are some miticides you can use. You want to read the label, choose something that is good for this purpose. Follow the directions, and then go back and check and see what's happened after you've treated. Give it a few days, see if it's working. But in many cases, we don't even have to use the miticides. We want to use water because these mites don't like water. We can wash them off the plant, Strong jet of water will wash them away. They're not doing any damage once they're not on the plant. Some may crawl back up. We wash them off again. And in time, by doing this, we allow the predators that eat the mites to build up in population. If we use the insecticides and miticides, we're going to kill the good guys. So if we can use water, and if we can get it under control with that method, we don't have to use the stronger methods.